Hello everyone and welcome back to Tailor Made with Hamline University head football coach Chip Taylor. Tailor Made is a weekly program that gives you, the fans, the opportunity to pose your questions to the Hamline University coach and receive tailor-made answers that should provide you with insights about the Pipers, football or sports in general, or just about life questions that you might have out there. In this week's program, the coach talks to us about the impressive start for the team this season. He shares with us his insights about the Gustavus Adolphus game. And will the coach reveal a secret recipe? Let's find out on Tailor Made. Okay, so let us welcome back Coach Taylor this week. Coach, let's first of all begin with team updates you have for us.
The team is doing well, coming off of a bye week. Working to get a couple guys healthy and working to get some young guys, some more experience and trying to get them integrated into our system and our culture a little bit better. So the bye week came at a great time, and we're fired up for Gustavus.
So let us head to our questions this week. Let's first of all begin with, what kind of practice did you feel that you had because of this bye week?
It was upbeat, spirited. Anytime you haven't lost a game yet, the guys are excited about the next challenge and how we're going to progress. So it was very upbeat and very high tempo, and the guys are ready to roll. So
you enter in against Gustavus 2-0 this week. How do you keep that kind of momentum going?
The thing, one of our philosophies is just, 1 week seasons. So, with that being said, no matter who we're playing, the guys understand that, the time is getting shorter. So, they're pretty fired up about it, and they want to go out and do a good job and put a good product out on the field. So they had a good week of practice, so they're ready to roll.
So you're taking on Gustavus this week. They've had some injury situations so far, especially at the quarterback position. Any one of three guys may be quarterbacking for them this week. So how do you prepare for that?
It's tough because you're not sure what you're going to get. But, when you don't know, the thing that we really stress with our guys through the bye week and through the week leading up is that you got to work your fundamentals. You got to have your eyes right. You have to run to the football because there's going to be some things that we haven't seen and we can't prepare for, because you can't prepare for three quarterbacks. It's just not enough practice time. So you have to really be detailed in your preparation, and when the game comes, you can't let the lights get too big, and you got to just do what you're coached to do. So our guys will be fine.
They've had quite an impressive defense this year at Gustavus. What are some keys that you look at that you say we need to do these kind of things to win this game?
Yeah, they're running around very well down there. We need to, most importantly, it's two things. We have to take care of the football, and we cannot give them the football. We have to take care of it, and they do a good job of taking it away. And we have to. I think one of the things that will help us is if we can hit some big plays. If we can hit some big plays, I think that'll be critical in giving us a chance to win the game. But their defense is very solid this year.
Justice Spriggs has looked really impressive for you so far this season. He seems to really be grasping this offense really well.
Yeah, he does a good job. And the thing with Justice is, with that position, you can't just show up and play. Not to say that any other position, they don't meet and guys don't come in, but I mean, he is constantly with Coach Zabrowski, talking, communicating, staying after practice, coming late for meetings, bringing his dinner in here to meet. So what you see out on the football field is a product of his hard work and great coaching. So, it doesn't surprise me that he goes out on Saturdays and does well. He prepares the right way, and I'm looking forward to watching him play this weekend.
Hamline usually has a really potent running attack each season, but that hasn't been as much the case this year. Is that just kind of a product of the play of Justice Spriggs, or is this something you want to focus on more as the season goes along?
I think it's a product of just how we're built. When you graduate, the leading rusher Austin Duncan, there's going to be a drop off, and not necessarily saying with the running backs we have, but Austin was a special guy, and our offensive lines are built a little bit differently. So it's not that we don't try to run the ball. It's just you got different guys trying to do it, and Justice is coming along. So what I told those offensive guys is find out what we can do and do it well, and then just continue to keep coaching it and building it and molding it. So.
Well, let us head to our fan questions this week. We first of all begin with Jake from St. Paul. He says, with such speed at your wide receiver position, do you think that you will look to throw even more to take advantage of their skill set?
Well, to answer Jake from St. Paul, Jake, how you doing? With the speed of our receiver position, we're definitely going to always play to our strengths here at Hamline. But also, as we get into the game, we understand the game changes. So it's all going to depend on what Gustavus does too. If for whatever reason, we're able to run the ball a little bit more, then that's what we're going to do to win the game. Whatever it takes to win the game. We're never going to try and force something that isn't there. So.
Zach from Minneapolis would like to know, with the injuries that the Vikings have endured, are they done?
Zach, how you doing? Well, two things. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so I have to stay true to the Eagles. So hopefully they continue to win. But as I'm ingrained in Minnesota, I'm pulling for the Vikings. Actually, Mike Zimmer's an Illinois State alum, so I'm pulling for him. I do not think that they're done. Coach Zimmer is a very good football coach, and I know he'll get those guys ready to roll. And defensively I bet you defensively they're gonna pick up the slack for what's going on with the offense. So.
At 2-0, you got to be pretty happy about your team then.
Yes, very excited. So hopefully those guys can continue to keep it rolling.
Next is Lee from Richfield. He says, are there suggestions that you have on how to improve your hands for receivers or defensive backs?
Lee, how you doing? I think, when it comes to, doing a skill of catching the football, it takes a lot of repetition. We coach our guys to, catch the ball away from their body, so, we feel like if the ball is getting into your body, bad things will happen. So, two things is, catching the ball away from your body, and our receivers coach does a good job of, catching before, obviously catching during, and staying after. It's just a lot of repetitions.
Next, we have somebody identifying herself as Concerned Mom. She says, Coach, I am concerned about the parents at my son's football games. They seem to be getting so over the top in how they act. Any suggestions on what I can do?
Concerned Mom. Wow, that's a good one. I think, with the game growing as much as it is, and like we talked about last time, football being, one of the best games out there, it's an emotional game, and kids are running into each other and at that young age. So, what I would suggest, I don't know if it'll work. Maybe the parents have a meeting with the coaches and everybody can get together and communicate and let people know that it's about the kids. You don't want to ever get to a situation where people are fighting on the sidelines over at any game. It doesn't matter if it's a child game, a college game, or professional game. So I think communication is the best way, and maybe you guys sit down and figure out what's really the goal here. What kind of lessons are we trying to teach these kids? And the parents are the ones that set the tempo. So I think a parent meeting and bringing a coach in could possibly help.
Ben from St. Paul would like to know, how would you feel if a player wanted to take a knee during the national anthem?
Ben, St. Paul, that's a great question. I know that is, gaining a lot of traction with the recent, actions in the NFL. The one thing, I don't really get into, but I know you're going to be disappointed, but I don't really talk religion or politics or social issues at work. So I'm going to have to decline that one, Ben, and hopefully I can answer another question for you next week.
Our last question of the week is Dan from St. Paul, who says, Coach, I love beef jerky. Care to share any of your recipes with us?
Sure. Wow, Dan from St. Paul. That's a tough one. I know we talked about, one of my hidden talents is being a good cook. And I know you're going to hate this answer, but I don't cook off of recipes, so it's just kind of more or less being in the kitchen with my mom and my dad and all my aunts, and just kind of watching how they did things. And actually my brother's a good cook too, so just whenever I go home to visit those guys, I always just kind of hang in the kitchen and watch, because they never cooked off a recipe. So I've kind of picked up that trait too. So I don't cook off of a recipe, Dan, but I would say, YouTube is a great teacher for everybody. So I'm sure you can find anything you want, and you can go from there. So
great. Thanks for joining us this week, Coach.
It sounds good. See you next week.
We want to thank Coach Taylor for joining us on Taylor Made this week. If you have your own questions you'd like to ask the Hamline coach, please send them to us at chiptaylor@minorleaguesportsreport.com. That's chiptaylor@minorleaguesportsreport.com. Please have your questions to us by Wednesday evening so we can give the coach a little time to review them before we record the show. I'm Rob Pannier, the managing editor of the Minor League Sports Report, reminding you that if you want to get really good answers to your questions, then there's no better way than getting them tailored